So when he calls, first of all, I was surprised, and then I was impressed because he actually did remember my number. So, and then I was a bit anxious because this is someone, I met him at the pool, I don't know him, and when he called, he wanted us to meet for coffee. So I was not quite sure, but I was like, okay, let me just go and see how it goes. So when I came back to Nairobi in the, I think the next week after that, and we met at Yaya Center. Yeah, I believe it's some restaurant in
I think so.
Yaya Center. Yeah, and the funny thing is, so when I was going to meet him, I had told my friend about someone new that I had met in Naivasha, and I was going to meet him. So she was like, oh, just be careful. There are these people who are coming from Tanzania, and they are organ harvesters. So be careful when you're meeting strange people or people you don't know. So when I was going there to meet him, I was very alert. I was just looking around for, is he alone? Is he with other people who maybe they're just coming to harvest my organs? But it was okay. He was alone and he was fine.
I'm glad I chose the accent. There wasn't much of a difference. I think Tanzanian and Kenyans are the same. I guess the only difference is the language. I think Tanzanians, we don't speak as good English as Kenyans do. And so I maybe to me it was more of an excitement at the same time, because meeting someone from Kenya, it's like, hey, how is this gonna be like? I think Kenyans are a lot more freer. I think it's easier to actually strike a conversation. I think with the Kenyan, I think Kenyans are more open to strangers. I think, right, more so than Tanzanians. The Tanzanians were a lot more reserved. You don't just go out there and just talk to random people. It's rare for us to do that. So that helped. It was just easy for me to do that, and I didn't know the whole like organ harvesting part. So, but it makes sense when I heard this the first time. I was like, oh, I see exactly why things transpired the way they did because of what she thought, and I'm glad I picked Yaya Center as opposed to I don't know, some shady location, because then she never have showed up. So, so that was good.
At that point, we were still, let's say, trying to be friends, because first of all, he didn't disclose that he was Tanzanian, and then he I think he wanted to fit into the Kenyan system so much, so he told me he's from Kisumu.
No, I think from Western.
From Western, yeah. Yes. He said he was from Western. So, but I realized something, that everything I was telling him about Nairobi and Kenya, he wasn't quite getting it. So I was wondering, is this person from Kenya really? And then he started switching. He told me he's Tanzanian, but from how he was speaking, and he said Tanzanians don't speak as good English as he does. So it was very confusing. So it was just almost affirming what my friend had said, that there's some Tanzanians who are coming to Kenya to harvest organs. So at that point we were friends, but I was very, very afraid of him. So every other time that I was going to meet him, then I started bringing in my friend, just to look out for me, more so than just to have fun. But he was great company, and his friends, but I was just very cautious around them.
I didn't notice any fear from her in my interaction. I think in her interaction with me, but it became more transparent that the fear exists when I sort of like, I was trying to get this a bit more serious, right? And I do remember this very clearly, because I don't know what I actually said, but then at some point I was like, well, so let me get some kind of definition around whatever this is, and she pretty much said no. I mean, maybe more politically correct way, but she just said, I don't think this is just not going to kind of work, right? And so we sort of like say, okay, fine, I guess we can part ways, but we'll still be in touch. But to me, for the longest time, I was like, so I don't think I did anything wrong. Or what is that she has observed in that time that made her sort of like, react in that way? Because I thought I did everything fine. But now looking back, it kind of makes sense, right? Because if she thought, well, this person probably is not what I think he is, then I would rather just not get this any further.